Yeah. So good evening, all. I think we are all set to go. So I request, ma'am. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, I think we can start. Very good evening to all of you present over here. I welcome you all to this webinar organized by Department of Mathematics, NIT Durgapur. As we have already announced, the title of the webinar is Being Human in the Age of Science and Technology. I welcome our esteemed speaker, Mr. Avelo Roy, who is a tech entrepreneur, investor, TV host, 4 times TEDx speaker, founder of 8 US-based businesses. So I believe that today's webinar is going to give you a lot. It will motivate you in your future days. So before coming to the program, I would just like to introduce one of our team members, Mr. Indranil Chatterjee. He is a part of this program. He has taken care of all the IT parts. So Indranil Chatterjee is a BTech, has done BTech from Kollani Government Engineering College, and right now he is IPAMS design engineer. Over 3 years of experience he is having in VLSI industry, and he has excellent reputation for resolving problems, teamwork, good experience in cadence, synopsis tools, working in Sardis for past 2 years. May I now request Mr. Indranil Chatterjee to introduce our speaker, Mr. Avelo Roy. So over to Mr. Indranil.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. So it's a great privilege for all of us, and I've got this opportunity to present this webinar. And I'm sure that all of us present here are going to get immensely benefited by today's webinar, because we have a very, very special personality amongst us. That is Mr. Avelo Roy, sir. So so before we begin with the webinar by sir. So before sir takes us on an enlightening journey, for the next hour or so, I'd just like to give a brief introduction about sir, right? So, it's not going to be a normal intro. Normal intro, they are very short usually, but, sir has, a tremendous amounts of, achievements to his name, basically, So just hold on for a few minutes, as I introduce sir. Okay. So, yeah. So sir is currently the managing director of Kolkata Ventures, which is the largest startup incubator in whole of Eastern India, right? And sir is also the director at ECC Engineering Private Limited, Kolkata. He is, a board of advisors for Amity University Online, former startup advisor to the Prime Minister of Nepal, and he has, he acts as a guest lecturer for various, universities across the world, like Illinois Institute of Technology, USA, Northwestern University, USA, and 8 IITs, including Delhi, Bombay, Kharagpur, Bhubaneswar, Goa, Hyderabad, Patna, and Guwahati, as well as 3 IIMs, right? And despite having such, monumental, technical abilities, when it comes to public speaking as well, sir is no less, In fact, he has, had over 500, speaking engagements in US and India, including, the White House panel for entrepreneurship education, Startup America, Invest India, at Rashtrapati Bhavan, TEDx talks, Joe talks, and many such more things, right? So sir has to his name more than 150 awards, across India, US, Canada, and China, and he currently, mentors more than 1,800 plus startups, startup individuals, in India, US, Canada, as well as China. So sir is a tech entrepreneur, as ma'am already mentioned. He's an investor, a 4 times TEDx speaker, and TV host, who started his first company at the age of, can anyone of you guess? Yeah. At what age did sir start his first startup?
19 years.
Yeah, it's 19. Yeah. So I think the age of most of you will now, I think, would be 18 or 19. So by this time, sir had his own startup, And by the time he actually at the time he was studying in college naturally, and he went on to build it into a multi-dollar valuation by the age of 22. And he went on to build many businesses in the US and India with multi-million dollars worth of products and services. And sir is also the great grandson of Shrimati and Sarojini Naidu, who is a poet, politician, and the first female governor of India. Right? Sir continues the legacy forward by tirelessly serving the Indian youth through entrepreneurship education using lean startup methodology and principles of Bhagavad-Gita. So we are very, 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 very honored and happy to have sir with us today. So just before sir, starts his session, so I'll just want to make a quick announcement, a very important announcement. Please do listen carefully. That we have participant certificates for all of you who are present in this webinar. So for that, we'll be sending out a feedback form at the end of the webinar rather. And so all of you need to fill that form, and please provide your email ID correctly and your name and phone number correctly, because the certificate is going to land up in your mail ID, right? So please do so. So, okay. So we'll once again like to welcome sir. So if it had been offline, we would have had a round of applause, but still since it's online, so at least we can type welcome in the chat box to as a gesture of welcoming sir, right? So all of you are requested, if you can just type welcome in the chat box to welcome sir amongst us. Yes.
Thank you very much, Indranil, for that wonderful introduction, and Professor Pal. Thank you very much for kindly organizing this. Very honored to be with all of you. I've been to NIT Durgapur before physically to many of your events, Arahan and other things. So I look forward to going again in person, but this time it'll be online. So if I understand correctly, Indranil, everybody's a first year student here. Am I correct?
Yeah, yes, almost 90-95%. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Thank you for all the welcome messages. Thank you so much. All right, I'll share my screen and we'll get started. 7-11. All right. So as you heard, I started my journey at the age of 19 when I was a college student. So I was one of the youngest CEOs in the US at the time. And this was my first CEO national conference where all the big CEOs were there. This was 2007. And I have always been a CEO throughout my life by God's grace. So it started with a lot of struggles as a student entrepreneur, but those struggles eventually landed into winning Entrepreneur Idol, which is like Indian Idol for music, the Entrepreneur Idol in the US. And yes, thank you for circling that out. Got a lot of help and mentorship from people who were successful at the time. Like at the bottom, you can see at the time, CEO of Nokia and Motorola. They were the biggest phone brands of the time. Let me just quickly stop sharing so that circle goes away. Yeah, please don't make circles on the screen. I'll appreciate that. Won many competitions in US and Canada. So that gave us enough money to start building our product. It was kind of like, think about Apple Watch before the Apple Watch in the form of a necklace for little girls to do social networking. So we built a team together of the best and the brightest people. And together we have built all these businesses in US, Canada, Hong Kong, China, and finally in India with Kolkata Ventures for Kolkata, West Bengal, and now it is no more about Kolkata. We are all over. Honored by California State Senate, TED Talks, as you heard, and Kolkata Ventures has been my dream project, where when I was a student entrepreneur, I was getting all this help from my mentors. So I created Kolkata Ventures as a means of giving back to the next generation. When I asked my mentors, what is it that can I do for you? They said, give it to the next generation, what we gave you. So that's my goal with Kolkata Ventures. And so far, 500 plus revenue generating startups. We started from Kolkata, then West Bengal, then India, and now we're in 5 countries. Loke bole Bangladesh ব্যবসা হয় না. People say Bengalis cannot do business, and I took that as a challenge. And I'm very proud that not only Bengalis, but Kolkata Ventures incubates even Westerners, Canada, US, Portugal, Hong Kong, Australia, many countries are taking incubation virtually from Kolkata Ventures, and we are very proud of it. Especially those of you Bengalis should be very, very proud of it. I work with the central government in terms of helping startups. So this is at Rashtrapati Bhavan. This is with the Prime Minister of Nepal. I was sent by the Modi government to the newly elected Prime Minister at the time, Prime Minister Oli, along with some of our other CEOs. You see Ritesh from Oyo here, Sugar Cosmetics. You know Vinita, who's on Shark Tank. That's her husband over here. So some of us went there and we created the ecosystem in Nepal, Kathmandu. Thank you for circling that out, but kindly don't do it. Somebody's having a lot of fun circling things.
So you can disable that.
How do I disable it? Annotation?
So, there is an option, sir, while sharing the screen. If there are 3 dots on the extreme right, if you see, while sharing the screen. There is a bar, right, sir?
Disable annotation.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You're a genius. All right. I love sharing knowledge. So I'm a guest faculty at IITs, IIMs, as you heard, and 2 US universities. And I love students. So I am always there with college programs and webinars. I don't charge anything. I'm there. I'm here to support you guys so you can have a brilliant future, because that's the only way our country can grow. Funding startups, grants, and also policy making. So I work with the governments, state as well as central, in terms of policy making, so you guys can have a better future in terms of jobs and startups and entrepreneurship. What I'm going to share with you today is my personal journey. It's not Einstein or Gandhi or any of their thoughts. It's Bhagavad-Gita and my personal journey. So that's what I'm going to share with you about being human in this industrial age. And how can we beat the machines? Like, many people are scared that, oh, we're going to lose our jobs to machines, and there's automation and augmented reality and virtual reality and IoT and artificial intelligence and all of that. By the time you guys graduate in 4 years, the world is going to be a very, very different place. So how are you guys going to survive? What is it that you need to know to be relevant and thriving? Right? So that's what I'm going to talk about. And Bhagavad-Gita is going to be a part of this, because there's a lot of human aspects that the Bhagavad-Gita talks about that our other books don't, our college books don't, our physics, chemistry, mathematics books don't. So I will bring out that human aspect that make us superior to machines, and how we can thrive and succeed in the world that is automated, that is run by driverless cars and drones and everything else. How can we humans still maintain our superiority? So let's start with the first question: is who am I? Right? There are many answers to that. Somebody might say, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm intelligent, I'm stupid, I'm tall, I'm short, I'm good looking, I'm not, etc. Right? In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, we are parts and parcels of the divine. Right? So in this picture, this is actually from Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, text 18, where Krishna says that every person is a part of me, or there's equality among all beings. And that equality is that they're all part of the divine, right? Whether it's a man or a woman or a dog or an elephant or a cow, there's equality in spiritual realm. And that equality is we are all spiritual beings having different experiences. I'm having a human experience, the dog is having a dog experience, the cow is having a cow experience, but we are all spiritual beings. What does that mean? So here Krishna says, you're all eternal fragmental parts of me, right? It's like there's a big fire and there are sparks. So each spark has a fire-like quality, but it's a spark, it's small. So there's divinity, and then there is small sparks, that is us, conscious beings. And this conscious being, the soul, right? It moves from the babyhood to childhood, to adolescence, to adulthood, to old age, and one day it dies and it moves on to another body. This transmigration of the soul. So reincarnation, right? Okay, now we're getting into some interesting topics. I won't cover all of that in details. That's what there's other speakers I'm sure will be covering that. But in short, there is the body that we have, the physical body that is made up of earth, water, air, fire, ether. How earth? Actually, I did my 3rd year in college. There was a subject called philosophy of mind, and I presented this, and they were like, wow, how does that work? Westerners, So earth is like all carbon, magnesium, potassium, we have all these things in our body, right? That's earth. There's water, 70% of the body is water. There's air, we're breathing in, breathing out. There's fire, there's temperature, that's fire. And there's ether, intercellular space, intermolecular space, right? So there's ether. And then there is the subtle aspect, the mind, the intelligence, and the ego, or the false ego. So sometimes the ego is like, I am rich and I am this and I am that. Those are false ego. The real ego is I'm spiritual. I'm a spiritual being. That's the real ego. And Bhagavad-Gita, just to inspire us a little bit more, Krishna says, the soul, Atma, is indestructible. You never die. You're unchangeable. You're cognizant. You're aware. iPhone is not aware, right? It's smart, but it's not aware. It doesn't experience things. We experience things. Blissful. We're capable of having fun. We are capable of being happy. Amazing. Ascharyavat, Krishna says, you're amazing. So that's the human aspect of us. But sometimes we don't feel happy. Why? Because we are out of spirituality. Fish out of water, right? So fish in the water, very happy. With fish family and fish food and everything, fish is happy. Take the fish out of water, it's unhappy. So we are spiritual beings. When we are connected to spirituality through yoga and other things, we're happy. Take out of spirituality, this problem, that problem, all the problems become massive. Intellectually also, we should understand who we are. So there is a Nobel laureate who wrote this book called Thinking Fast and Slow. So every CEO reads this book because it's all about behavioral economics. And there he gives a lot about lazy brain and the active brain. The lazy brain is which is active most of the time. When you're on Instagram, what are you doing? You're going like this, right? Unless something really stops and grabs your attention, you're just swiping through. So that's the lazy side of the brain. It doesn't do much. It's like when your computer is on, not working for a while, there is the screensaver. That's a lazy brain. There's an active brain, which is thinking through things, reading notes, and making intellectual decisions. So similarly, there is two sides of the brain. One is the left brain and the right brain. There's two hemispheres. One side is logical, mathematical, rational. The other side is emotional, creative, deals well with people and all of that. Here's the deal. Some people are stronger on this side. Some people are stronger on this side. If you're creating Instagram reels, TikTok and whatnot, you're mostly probably here. Those of us who like statistics, who like mathematics, who likes, logic, we are more here. Some people, I know some CEOs who are good at both. But here's the deal. You need to identify who you are, what you're good at, and accordingly find your place in the future, in the middle of technology and industrial revolution that is happening again. The last time there was industrial revolution, what happened? Right? Once the factory system started and things became more automated, people had time in their hands. And for the first time in history, people were able to create a whole entertainment industry, the movie industry, the radio industry, right? Sports industry, they all popped up. If you see today, on average, a person is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, social media, at least 4 hours a day. How do they get the time? Because so much is automated. So many free tools out there. A lot of our work has been taken care of for us. So we have free time and we like to entertain ourselves. So in the age of automation, entertainment is going to be even more. Those who can entertain, the comedy, the people who can speak well, who can motivate, who can negotiate, who can do all kinds of dancing and whatnot, they're going to make a lot of money because it's the time for that. People have a lot of free time in their hands. But there is also so much data being created. Every day, so many Google searches happen. So much analytics come in. Who's going to make sense of that data, right? So there is room for those of us who are left brain also. So first of all is identify where is your strength, where is your weakness, and based on that, we'll figure out our career, right? Here is the deal. This is from my third TED Talk, where this was actually the topic. You're going to lose your job in 4,000 days. Prepare for the age of automation. Why will you lose your job? Here is why. So one of my last software projects, we're building this software for a healthcare automation company, right? What happened was, so think about this is in America. So doctor's office, people get treated. Then the doctor sends all that information to the billing company, who takes care of all the corrections and everything, sends it to insurance, and insurance pays the doctor. So this billing, one of the largest billing companies in the US, healthcare billing company, they said, hey, Avelo, why don't you create an automation for us so that we can get rid of as many people as possible? We did a thorough review and we came up with the conclusion that we can replace almost 90% of the people. And in the next 2 years, we built the software that literally removed 90% of the people with a software that would take 7 days worth of human work and do it in 1/6 of a second. Imagine that. What a human being could do in 7 days, our software could do in 1/6 of a second. Still does, by the way. And so immediately, as soon as our software came in, a lot of people started getting fired, right? Because people require salary, training, bonuses, vacation, weekends. Software stopped. You just turn on the electricity and the service, there, and the software is there, and it's just running through. It doesn't need anything. So this billing company's profitability went through the roof, and people got fired. And I saw a lot of people become unhappy. And I thought to myself, I said, Avelo created something nice, but then so many people lost jobs. And then I realized, you know what? This is the reality. This is what's going to happen. If you're not relevant, if you're not human enough, machines are going to replace a lot of the things you do. Today, we have drivers driving trucks and buses. But guess what? In the next 20 years or next 10 years, a lot of their jobs are going to be replaced. Driverless cars, driverless drones, right? I was just in Dubai. They're launching driverless drone taxis, right? That'll take you from point A to point B. No driver. You're going to fly from one place to another place. That's it, right? So that's the reality. So less humans, right? More machines. But the 10% who couldn't be fired, you should be asking me, that who are these people that couldn't be automated, couldn't be replaced? These were the relationship managers. These were the people who would who call the doctor and say, hey, everything okay? Yeah, we are good, all good. So these are the relationship managers. They take care of relationship with a machine cannot do. A machine cannot smile and say, how is it going? Is your child okay? Happy birthday, happy anniversary. Of course, machines can automate it, but doesn't the same effect, right? So these people who were being human are the ones who retained their jobs. Everybody else who were doing the automated stuff that could be automated got replaced. I was just today at a very big advertising firm, and I saw this one man carrying a file with so many papers from one place to another. I'm like, hello, we are the 21st century. How come you have paper? He's like, yeah, we're going to digitize all that. That guy's going to lose his job. And this is a reality. People who are doing physical things are not going to have a job. Now, don't worry. There's still the human aspect, like a teacher, like a doctor, like a psychologist, a negotiator, a salesperson. So these are different things that are very, very human, and only humans can convince other humans, right? And now, not everybody has to be that, but what I'm trying to say here is you have to find your place in the new world, right? Back in the days when automation happened, this was the situation where people would do one thing all day long for 8 hours, and that was a factory system. So the education system was also like that. Ratta maro, right? Memorize this, go vomit in the exam, and you get your grades, right? See, if you see the factory system of automation, same as our education system, and it has not changed. Thankfully, it is changing now more with online education and the pandemic and everything else. People are reinventing education. But still, what's happening is in the education system, even with robots, emotions have a very important place, and being human is something that is being emphasized, that we can press a button, call a cab, press a button, with the app, get food, press a button, get a date, but we don't know how to say hi to a neighbor. We don't know how to, pacify somebody who has lost a loved one. We don't know how to be humans, and especially us men, we're worse at it than women, because women are still empathetic. They have better EQ. Men lack that ability, and we are getting worse. As CEOs, women are doing far better than men because they have more empathy. They're better at being humans. They're better at being understanding of other people's emotions. Guess what? In a business, I am a business person, so I'll tell you, in a business, your customers are humans, your employees are humans, your investors are humans. If you don't understand human nature, if you're not a good human being, you will not be able to be a good business person, right? And that applies to being a teacher, being a scientist, because we are surrounded with humans and we have to work with humans. Even though there is automation, still humans will have their place, and we need to understand human emotions. Just like if you don't do well in your exams, right? You'll go to Professor Pal and say, madam, please give me some extra grace marks, 5 marks more, ma'am, please. And she'll be like, okay, fine. You've come to classes, you've done your homework, you tried hard, fine, I'll give you 5 extra marks, right? Is that negotiation? Yes, it's a real life skill. And in life, those are the people who squeeze the most out of life when they ask for extra things, right? Like when you're having puchka or pani puri, right? You ask for that extra free puchka. So same thing in life also. Everywhere you should, if you don't negotiate, if you don't ask, you don't get. Only when you ask, you get. So these are human things. And if we don't know this, we'll miss out in life. We can't be robots. Machines don't know how to love. And we are people who are built to love and be loved. So jobs of the future are about skills, but more importantly, they're about qualities, right? So I'll first talk about skills. What are some of the most important skills you should have in your 4 years of college? Number one is oral and written communication. Now you might have thought I would say Python or this coding and that coding, but oral and written communication. You can't imagine how many students reach out to me for internship and they'll be like, hey, can I get an internship in your company? I'm like, you didn't even say, hey, Mr. Roy or sir or Avelo, whatever. It's like, hey, can I get an internship? Now, initially I would feel offended. Now I realize they just don't know. People just don't know how to communicate with other people. There's another person who'll be like, sir, I love your posts on LinkedIn. I love your videos. Would love the opportunity to work with you. Guess what? Who am I going to work with? Right? It's very clear. If you can communicate sweetly, you get the opportunities, even if you lack on the skill level. But a skilled person with arrogance loses out. So learn to write better emails, better tweets, better WhatsApp messages. Learn to speak well in a way that it inspires the other person, uplifts them, and gets them to do what you want them to do, right? I'm not saying being manipulative, but at the same time, sweet words, uplifting words, inspiring, right? Learn to communicate. That's the number one thing. Whether you go for an investor pitch as a startup CEO or whether you go for a job interview as a job seeker, you will need to know how to speak and how to present yourself and sell your skills. Next is coding, which you will learn anyway. Most of you are engineers. You're at NIT, one of the best schools in the country for engineering. So coding helps you learn logic, right? Logical thinking, logical decision making. Even if you don't become a good coder, it's okay. But you will at least learn, if then else, you will at least learn how to think in a logical way. Designing. If you know colors, fonts, and what makes a person purchase on a certain e-commerce site, just giving an example, right? Amazon, if you see it, it's not the best looking site, but it's the most effective site. It loads quickly. And people who do what they call UI UX, user interface, user experience, their salary starts at 1 lakh. Those are really good. In India, unfortunately, most colleges don't teach that. But those who know UI UX, because guess what? Your website or your app, if it is designed right, it is equivalent to 2,000 salespeople, right? I can brush my teeth and buy something on Amazon with my left thumb. Literally, I can just be like, okay, I want this thing. And that's it, done. That's the design they've created. It's so easy. If you know that skill, you will not get a job that is less than 1 lakh. In fact, I pay 5 lakhs to those people who know UI UX very, very well, because I know it's worth paying them because they'll save me so much money on salespeople and telecalling, and it'll be all automated. Project management, whether you're a leader in your own organization or somebody else's, or you're running the college fest, you will need to know project management. Great skill to have. Digital marketing, data analytics. If you know the basics of it, if you can be found on LinkedIn, if you know how to be found on search engines, you will do well in life. Jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai, right? Money management. Know how to use your credit card. If you have one. If you don't have one, get one. Know how to use your money, know how to grow your money, know how to invest in assets. There's crypto, there's stock markets, there's so many things. Learn how the money grows rather than spending it on futile things. Of course, you should spend, you should have fun, but at the same time, you should also allocate money in terms of growth. And if you start now, the compounding effect will reward you very, very happily. Interpersonal interactions. Learn how to be likable amongst people, whether it's for dating or whether it's for business, or whether it's for being a good employee in a company that gets raises and promotions. If people like you, they will promote you. They will talk good things about you. Learn languages. If you know more than one language, it's great. If you know more than 2 languages, amazing. If you know more than 3 languages, which most of us Indians do, you will have a very good place, in wherever you work. And like I said, be found on Google, on LinkedIn, write the right keywords on your resume, write the right keywords, because most of the jobs you're going to apply for, most of the internships you're going to apply for, nobody's going to look through your resume. It's a machine that's looking through. Again, it's automated. Please understand. Somebody's looking for a Java coder, right? So it's just a software that's going to look through 100 resumes and like, okay, these resumes had the word Java coder in it. And of those 25 that had the word Java coder in it, now they're going to look through a few more keywords, and then 5 selected ones might, get read through, and of them, 1 will get a call, right? So that's how the process works. So be found, make yourself digitally visible. Jo dikhta hai, wo bikhta hai. If you cannot be seen, no matter how good you are, you'll not get the opportunities you deserve. So make sure that you have these things. Take a screenshot of the screen, and trust me, it'll come in handy. Even if you can have 2 or 3 of these, you will do very, very well in life. It takes time, understand that. It doesn't happen overnight. So build, test, learn, slowly things move. Now, this is the world. This is what it looks like. We're all absorbed on our digital devices. So from Maslow's hierarchy, if you don't know what it is, I've given it. So basically, Maslow is somebody who has defined human needs. It's a pyramid of human needs. Initially, we need oxygen for breathing, food, water, sleep, etc. Right? Once that is taken care of, then comes security, safety, employment, whatnot. Then comes friendship, family, intimacy, and all that. Right? Then comes self-esteem, confidence, and above that is self-realization, spirituality, and wonderful things like that. Now, in today's world, we have a lot of quantity in terms of lifestyle. We have the right food, we have what we want to eat with Zomato and Swiggy, what we want to wear on Amazon. There's plenty of oxygen to breathe when there is no corona, right? All of that is there. But guess what? People are still lonely. And according to some statistics, at least 70% of college students in the 4 years in college, at least once, thinks of committing suicide. Why is that happening? Why is that happening? Because we have quantity, we don't have quality. The needs are met on the lower platform, where it's the physiological needs are met, right? Somebody wants a hookup, it's very easy to get. Somebody wants food, water, they're very easy to get. But when it comes to love and belonging, people are cheating on each other. People are not giving attention to each other, right? People are more giving attention to their phones. And that's where things become, depression comes in, all kinds of problems come in. Parents are not giving attention to their children, boyfriend, girlfriend not giving attention to each other, right? So that's where the future problems lie, right? Along with cybersecurity and everything else that is there. But the human problems are the biggest problems. Mother Teresa said, the real hunger is not hunger of the belly, it's hunger of the heart. People are lonely, people are wanting to be loved. Now, with social media, that has happened to a certain degree, but it is also, for some people, it's more about showing off. I'm happy, look at me, versus being really happy. Now, I'm not saying social media is bad. It is very good for your career, for your occupation, and you should use it precisely for that reason, right? Your quality of work, your punctuality, your likability, your flexibility, all of that builds your reputation. Who you are, who you become as you get educated at NIT Durgapur, as you get your first internship, as you get your first job. These are the things that are going to build your reputation. Oh, you want good quality work on time, go talk to so-and-so, and he will do a great job, or she will do a great job. And eventually, guess what? This gets on social media also. People say, oh, such a great person. I appreciate this man or woman so much. And eventually, your reputation transforms to your revenue, or your salary hike, or the kind of jobs you get, kind of recommendations you get on LinkedIn. Everything has a role to play. So social media is for that. Social media is for you to show the good side of you so that you can have a better career, a better social life, a better opportunities presented to you, right? That's what social media is for. It is less about consuming, it's more about creating, it's about being social. So use it rather than getting used by it. When do you get used by it? when you're spending all your time on social media and you're not gaining anything out of it rather than entertainment, right? Social media is about this, where people write you reviews, they write you comments, they post and say, this guy's brilliant, he's an amazing coder. LinkedIn recommendations. When you go for an internship, your LinkedIn recommendations are going to be very powerful, right? What you've done for your professors, tell them, hey, professor, I did such a great research project for you. Would you kindly write me a LinkedIn recommendation? Now, a person who's giving you a job or internship will look at that and be like, oh, this is wonderful. A professor is endorsing this guy. He must be good or she must be good, right? Invest in yourself, dress well, speak well, learn skills, hear or read books, right? Have good technology, have good internet connection, so you can access the world of opportunities that is presented to you, not just in Durgapur, but throughout the world. Who knows? Some of you might end up in NASA. Some of you might end up in some other country. Opportunities with digital technology, with the pandemic, we have seen borders are no more a barrier. So all you got to do is understand who you are, left brain, right brain, your qualities, your passion, figure out your potential. What are you capable of and what you want to do in life? Learn the skills while at NIT Durgapur, not just classroom skills, but go out on YouTube, learn things that you think you can do well, whether it's UI, UX, whether it's website, whether it's digital marketing, whether it's drop shipping, buy something, sell something, create something, become part of the 1% by becoming a creator, by utilizing social media, internet, laptop, phone to your advantage in building something, right? And aligning all of this leads to your success. If you're a consumer, you work hard all day, you get your salary, you go to the shopping mall, you spend all that money, and your advertisements say, oh, you don't have the latest phone, the latest shoes, the latest car. So you go buy. It's the consumer economics. The people who succeed are the ones who create opportunity for others and for themselves. And through that, they're able to do a lot more with life. They are able to leave a legacy back, right? It takes time. You build something, you measure it, you learn, you grow. If you want to learn coding, right? When I was learning how to code, I built a banking software, literally. And that's how I learned, because classroom education was not enough for me. I wanted to build it and learn by building it. When I was building it and I learned, I want this feature, I want that feature, I want this color, I want to have this font, I want to have this kind of a button here. And those were far beyond just coding, right? When my school was teaching coding, I was going far beyond coding. And because I tried to build something real, I got in that mode of product development. I learned so much more. So when I was building my startup, I was not a newbie. I already knew what it took to build a product, and the business aspect of it, the technical aspect of it, the project management aspect of it. So do something real with your life. Don't get stuck in theoretical understanding, right? You will fail initially, I'll guarantee you that, but you will succeed much faster than other people who don't. That's the idea here. You fail fast, you succeed faster. When all of you have failed, all of you have failed in something or another. But the first failure in your life was when you tried to walk. You fumble and you fell down. And your parents said, try again, try again, try again. Today you can walk and talk and do everything else, right? So similarly, when you start something, whether it's a project, whether it's the e-commerce site, whether it's a startup, whether it's a new skill, initially you will be bad at it. Hey, that's how it works. But eventually you will get better and better and better if you continue doing it, right? It's an amazing quote that I absolutely love. Many people are not successful because they fail to fail enough times. They let fear hold them back. My name is Avelo Roy. Avelo comes from the middle name of Thomas Edison, Thomas Alva Edison. And Thomas Edison, what he was famous for? Famous for inventing the light bulb. And he failed apparently 10,000 times. I don't know who counted, but he failed thousands of times. Let's just take that. 10,000 or 5,000, I don't know. But if he had given up, for next 20, 30 years, there would be no lit up rooms. There'll be candles and lanterns. But because he failed and he tried and he tried and he tried and he tried and he failed and he tried, sitting in a nice well-lit room, all of us, right? So same thing with life. Initially, you will fail guaranteed. Whether you learn coding, whether you learn driving, whether you learn how to build a startup, you will fail. If you don't give up, and you keep trying and you get better every time, that means you're moving in the right direction. And eventually you will be an expert. Give it time, right? So we talked about skills. Now comes the qualities. Qualities like these: respect, compassion, gratitude, right? Your professor spends so much time preparing for the class that they teach. If at the end of the semester, you just say, thank you, professor, that was wonderful. You really went above and beyond to help us, right? I really want to take the time to appreciate you. Here's a flower, or here's a greeting card, or here is something I made for you. Doesn't take you more than 5 minutes. But guess what? That professor is going to remember you for a very long time. And it might so happen when an alumni is saying, hey, professor, I want to hire a coder or somebody who's good at graphic design. Can you get me some interns? She'll be like, oh, yes, of course. I have this person I really like. You should talk to that person, right? That's how the currency of relationships work. That was my first TED Talk. Watch it, how I built $1 million company purely based on the currency of relationship by being nice to people. When I got the first call from CNN Money, and in the US, CNN Money is the #1, business news channel. They called me. I was like, how did you know I exist? They said, oh, Mr. So-and-so told us about you. And I never heard of Mr. So-and-so, whoever that was, right? And that's what I learned. I'm like, if you do good things, people talk about you. If you do bad things, people talk about you. If you don't do anything, people don't talk about you. It's like a dead dog. Nobody cares. But either you do really good things or really bad things, people will talk about you. And any publicity is good publicity. Donald Trump has proven that. But the point is, do good things and be known for good things. And then opportunities come to you. People want to work with you. And things you didn't know exist become a reality in your life. And who knows where life takes you and what opportunities make your dreams come true, right? So qualities are very, very important, along with skills. Skills give you the ability to do work. Quality allows you the ability to work with people collaboratively, because we live in a collaborative world. A lot of my employees are spread across India, Dubai, US, Hong Kong, Vietnam, right? People are spread across and they work together at various time zones, right? So collaboratively working takes quality, patience. Some of my employees don't talk very good English. They could only write English. So some of the Americans, they get a little frustrated. So they have patience and they kind of learn to work with each other, because that's the world we live in, right? So it's important that we have these qualities. Only then we can succeed with our skills. Otherwise, we are highly skilled and nobody likes us, right? We will not be able to reach our full potential, because yes, we will do really well because we're high IQ, but without high EQ, without these qualities, we will always be kind of hated. And that means people wouldn't want to work with us. So the best opportunities, we won't reach the best potential, right? The fundamental nature of every living being is to love and be loved. So everybody wants to be loved and respected. So it doesn't cost you anything to do that, whether it's on social media or in the real world. This is how Uber was created. There was a simple tweet on social media. Travis was looking for a business development guy, right? Looking for an entrepreneurial product manager, biz dev killer for a location-based service, Uber. And Ryan lost his job that day, and he just responded. He said, here's a tip, email me, Ryan, at Gmail. So that's it. They met and they built a multi-billion-dollar company. So it's not just like you are good in person or good on social media, both. In reality, you have to be a good person. You have to have good qualities and skills, and thereby you make powerful connections from people around the world, not just Kolkata, India, Durgapur. Who knows who you can connect with and collaboratively build your future and make India proud, right? Ideally, this is where you're heading with all the automation and everything. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. I love it when this happens. So when I was in the US, I would love these phone calls. I would call up at night before going to bed to my Chinese counterparts. I was like, hey, this is the stuff you need to do. I'd wake up in the morning, and by the time I wake up, work is done. I was sleeping and my company was working, right? I get the same thing. Throughout the US time zone, I'd be working and they'd be sleeping. When they wake up, there's work ready for them to do. So like 24 hours, my company is working. And today with automation, Facebook is doing the sales, Google is doing the sales, lead generation is happening, people are coding in various parts. So constantly, whether you're sleeping or I'm talking to you guys, but work is getting done. It's amazing, using technology to our advantage. And that is what Warren Buffett is talking about. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And it's high time, with all the automation, AI, augmented reality, and everything else that is out there, entertain yourself to a certain degree, but also figure out a way to make money, create something, sell something, and you will be amazed how much, if you just set the thing in motion, how much it can give you return on investment. Have a plan. If you want $1 million, figure out how many people you need to sell, what priced products, or what kind of subscriptions. You can break it down further, right? How much money do you want to make in a month, in a week, in a day, to reach that $1 million, right? Most of you are 18, 19 years old. Maybe by the time you're 21 or 22 or 25, you want to make $1 million. So you have a lot of time. How do you break that down? Okay, by this time, by my 20th birthday, I should have these skills ready. By my 21st birthday, I should start something, an internship job, a passive income, crypto, whatever it is, right? By 25, I should reach $1 million. If you have that kind of a goal and you break it down, your years, your days, procrastination will run away. I know procrastination is a problem that many students or many professionals face. Aaj korbo na, kal korbo, like won't do it today, we'll do it a little later. It's okay, deadline, right before the deadline, everybody's working very, very hard. But if you have a plan and you have a goal, you'll realize every day has a certain budget and you're supposed to do that, right? And the way I deal with it is I have a to-do list. And in my to-do list, there is no more than 3 things that I add every day towards that long-term goal. So I wake up in the morning, I do my prayers and meditation, and then my to-do list. Like today, I'm going to accomplish these things. And without this, I'm not going to entertain myself. And I have a reward at the end of the day. I'll watch something, some YouTube, some Netflix, something, right? So Avelo, you've finished 3 things. Congratulations. Now you get to watch for 1 hour, whatever you want to watch, right? So that's how I brain hack myself, and procrastination, runs away. So that's another tip for you. Procrastination is a big, big killer. All right, but don't try to do too much at once. Like I said, 3 things on the to-do list. So sustainable small changes every day over a period of time, it's compounding effect. It will pick up, and eventually, even if you're doing YouTube videos, initially there's not much change, but as you keep growing, keep pushing, slowly, 3 viewers, 10 viewers, 30 viewers, 100 viewers, 10,000 viewers, and like that, it'll grow eventually, right? So small changes every day, that's sustainable. Get a mentor, somebody who is where you want to be and who has been where you are today, right? If you want to be a millionaire, find somebody who's gone from $0 to $1 million, right? Who started where you are started. So like that, find a mentor, somebody who can guide you through. And this club of ours at NIT Durgapur, IYC Club, Indian Youth Care, they are exactly that. They provide serious students who are successful, who guide you, who give you, and speakers like myself will come, and who will guide you through this whole process. And that's how you grow through your 4 years. That's what I did. I was very fortunate to have a similar club in my college at the Illinois Institute of Technology. And I would go every Sunday. They would be having a speaker coming in, talking about these kinds of subject matters that they don't teach in college, in classrooms. And that's what I learned, about being a human, about how to succeed. Because if you're learning everything that everybody else is learning, you don't have a competitive advantage. But when you learn something more, something that the Gita is telling you, something that you're learning from successful people's lives, that's when you get like, aha, this is how they hack the system, right? Have great friends around you. If you have 5 confident friends, you will be the 6th. If you have 5 millionaire friends, you will be the 6th. If you have 5 broke friends or drug addicted friends, you will be the 6th. It is just how it works, right? Right now, the Russian-Ukraine war is happening. When Putin first came in, at that time, there were 12 oligarchs, as they call it, in Russia. These people had full capacity some of them were managing the entertainment industry. Some of them were having oil and natural resources, coal and these things. Putin came and just threw them aside, right? And some of them had to run away from the country. Some of them are put in jail. But what happened was a lot of these billionaires were put in jail together. And there was a great networking for them. They learned from each other. They became friends. As soon as they were released, they ran from the company, the country, and they all become billionaires again within 10 months to a year. That's the beauty of it, because everything was robbed away from them, their family, their business, their houses, their properties, everything, but their mindset couldn't be taken away. So that and their friendships with each other. So as soon as they left Russia, they again became billionaires, and they're in London, they're in US, they're all over the globe, but they're extremely wealthy because that mindset, that thought process couldn't be taken away from them. So the friends that you have, that's the mindset you will acquire. And that's the kind of person you will become based on your skills and the mindset. By the way, in case you don't know who this is Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak on the right side, and in the middle, Jim Scully, the guy Steve Jobs hired and who later on fired Steve Jobs from Apple. So Steve Jobs couldn't be Steve Jobs without Steve Wozniak. And without Steve Wozniak, if Steve Wozniak couldn't be Steve Wozniak without Steve Jobs. Steve Wozniak was a nerd, the introvert, the left-brained guy who was coding and building Apple products. And Steve Jobs was the right-brained guy who was envisioning what people would love to do, who was selling on stage, who was a showman. But Steve Jobs is not the technology guy. He's the marketing guy. He's right-brained. So Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak was a perfect combination, with the right brain and the left brain come together to co-found this company called Apple. And hey, they make everything. Today, only one of my mentees just gifted me an Apple tag. I'm wondering what to do with it. But they have everything now, so many products, right? And Steve Wozniak is still alive. And that's the beauty of it. When you have right friends, you never know where you end up. And if you treat your friends nicely, tomorrow some of them are going to be IPS, IAS, ministers, doctor, engineer, CEO, whatnot. 20 years from now, when you call them, hey, buddy, what's up? Oh, yes, we studied at NIT Durgapur. How are you doing? Or, oh, you were such a rude person with me. You never helped me with my homework and exams. I don't want to help you, right? You'll have two kinds of conversations. So have the right kinds of friends and treat them well. Treat them with respect. Give them your heart and soul. Anyway, so we'll end with this. If you have a goal, if you want to accomplish that $1 million goal, do it now. No excuses. Start today. Make it a habit to win. 3 things every day on your to-do list. Empower your dream with a deadline. By the time you're 20, have a set goal. By 20th birthday, I want to accomplish this. By 22nd birthday, I want to accomplish this. By 25th birthday, I want to accomplish this. By 30th birthday, I want to accomplish this, right? Have dates, back calculate, break it down, and every day go at it. And stay in touch with me. I'm your elder brother. Anytime you need anything, I respond to all social media messages as much as possible to the best of my ability. If I don't respond, try again in 48 hours, and I will certainly respond. I'm the only person in this world with the name Avelo Roy. So you can you can find me very easily on Google or Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever else. So I'll end here, and I'll ask Indranil to take over with their club-related feedback form and everything else that you need to do. Go ahead, Indranil.
So thanks a lot, sir. It was really an amazing experience what Sir said. His own, how he built this, multi-million-dollar startups and everything. And he shared many practical life hacks, basically, right? Like what we can apply in our life, right? How to overcome procrastination, and how the to-do list helps us to overcome that. So it was really a very wonderful transfer of knowledge. Thank you so much, sir. And so sir basically mentioned about to sum it up, to summarize, I would just like to say that a mixture of competence and character, both is required to basically succeed in life, basically. So as sir mentioned, we require the skills, as well as that comes the competence part, and also we require qualities, our human qualities, that is the character part. So our club, that is at India Youth Care, we exactly try to basically take care of both of these aspects, right? So in that regard, I would just like to share a small promo video of what is India Youth Care all about, So, yeah, so I'll just share my screen. So this, this is a promo video for an upcoming course which we have, which will be commencing in the month of April. So all of you can participate in that. So this is just a promo for that. Okay? You can watch it. It's just 2 minutes video. So that was basically, we have a course on that commencing from April, and I just, you need to fill this feedback form, which I will just sharing to all of you in the chat box. Okay, so yeah. So in this feedback form, there are certain questions which you can answer. There is a personal development quiz, a sort of quiz is there. So this course has been sponsored by our alumni, and basically, so we have very limited seats available for this course. So all of you can fill this feedback form, and based on your answers, which we get through your feedback form, we'll be basically, intimating you that whether or not you have been selected for this course, which will be commencing in April, post your exams through online method mostly, right? So yeah, so now I'd like to request Dr. Anita Paul ma'am to share the concluding message. And just one more thing, this link is active only for 30 minutes, okay, after this, so you can just go ahead and fill this. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Roy. So I would just, if Mr. Roy, you give the permission, can we take up 2-3 questions from the participants?
Yeah, that'd be great.
So participants, if you have any question, so you can ask, we can take 2 or 3 questions. Anybody is having any question in your mind which you want to get answer from Mr. Roy, you can ask him.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir.
Hi, Nikhil.
Myself. Yeah, I want to ask how spirituality, or you told something about Bhagavad-Gita. So how this can be, what I say, is a breaker for a person who want to get succeed in a life. How this spirituality plays a role in a successful people's life.
Sure. Almost every CEO I've met in the US has read the Bhagavad-Gita. And the reason why is because this knowledge is something that gives us an extra edge. For example, how to control anger, right? Bhagavad-Gita talks in 8 steps. It breaks it down, the anatomy of anger. Right? If you can control your anger, in business, there's always issues. There are people you don't like, and you cannot react. You have to be nice to people who are treating you not so nicely, because you need to get what you need to get done. And that's part of leadership, that's part of management. When it comes to lust, when it comes to greed, when it comes to all these other things, right, that distract us. The mind, Krishna says, is the worst enemy, and it can be our best friend. Uncontrolled mind, worst enemy. Controlled mind, best friend. So when you learn how to control the mind, those nuances come from spirituality, right? Then you can use this mind to your advantage, just like the social media. Either social media uses you, Mark Zuckerberg makes money by showing you advertising, or you use social media to your advantage by getting jobs, internships, your followers, fans, whatever else, right? So similarly, the mind is also the software which runs the body and everything else. So if you know how to use it well, you can get to your destination, or else it will distract you from your destination. So the senses, the food that we eat, how much should we sleep, how much should we entertain, all of these are given in the scriptural literatures. And that allows us, it gives us the ability to be a high performing individual, right? When you become a high performing individual, you don't need to sleep 8 hours a day. You can do the same in 6 hours a day or 4 hours a day. And that means you just have 20 hours opened up, a few more hours than other people. That's your competitive advantage, right? Somebody like me who's doing meditation for the last 16 years or so. If I look at a legal document, somebody else would have what they would take 2 hours. I can do that in half an hour, because I can silence my mind and just focus on what I need to focus on. And when I want to entertain, I'm laughing and dancing and joking and everything else, right? So that control that you have over your mind, intelligence, and ego, that knowledge comes from the spirituality. Does it make sense?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Is there any other question from the participants?
Sir, can I ask question?
Please.
Hello, sir. My name is Onikde. Hello,
Yes,
sir.
Alex, please tell me.
What is the right age to start the business or startup? Anything?
There is no right age. It depends on your skills and abilities. I started at 19 because by then I already had certain skills and certain qualities. So initially what I would suggest is do something that you can easily do with your phone or laptop, sitting in your dorm room or home, right? So like drop shipping or some kind of content creation or something of that sort, and make money, learn how to manage that money. Then get an internship, learn more skills. And as you get technical skills from NIT Durgapur, learn also some other skills that work, whether you're right-brained or left-brained. Based on that, learn certain skills. And once you have the ability to lead a team, right? Business cannot be done unless you know how to lead a team, unless you know how to project manage, product manage, so learn those skills first. And whatever the age that might be, right? That could be 21, that could be 45, that could be 80. I know entrepreneurs who started at the age of 70 and they're extremely successful for whatever number of years they've lived. So there is no such age. But the point is, earlier you do it, the healthier body you have to enjoy the benefits of the success that you have. So learn skills faster, learn the qualities, and quickly get to building something, and you'll figure it out as you go along.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All the best.
Okay, wonderful. Mr. Roy, I have one question. Can I ask?
Please.
You said in your throughout the lecture, I was listening that nice talk means you have to be very nice to others every time. Means if you want your things to be done as you want it, so you have to be very nice. You have to speak nice. But sometimes in life we see that we know the things are not going correct. Means you can understand because you have seen life very closely. You have seen. So sometimes it happens that you know that the whole system is corrupted. People are like that, and you from heart you don't like them because there is so many things which is going wrong, and you don't support. Still, do you think that we should be very like sweet to them also? Means against your heart means.
So here's the deal.
I think you're getting me. That
I get your point. I get your point.
What people do mostly we think that let us be a little side, because being in part of this corruption and through this corrupted people saying, oh sir, how are you, this better we inside, although we suffer. I mean, those people, they do that, they suffer, and those who can say, sir, you are extremely good, sir, you are this, you are that, they are succeeding as per whatever you said, that is correct thing. that if you can be nice, then your things will be done. So which one is better? That is my question.
See, you're a professor, you're a teacher. And then the Sanskrit word for that is acharya. Acharya means somebody who teaches by example. So if I tell somebody you're corrupt and you should change, you think that person will change?
No.
No. But if I show them how one can be honest and be successful, then that's a far more impactful statement. It takes time, but it's a far more impactful statement. Look at me. This is how I do it, and I'm successful. There are several other people who are innocent, who are your students, who will see that and see you as a leader and be like, hey, I want to be like that. I don't want to be like that corrupt person. So by saying or protesting, we might not be able to change their hearts. By being an example, we can change a lot of other people's hearts who are at least in the zone of choosing certain options. People who are corrupt, let's say Lalu Prasad Yadav or any politician who are corrupt, they're not going to listen to us if we tell them. The least we can do is not vote for them. But guess what? Somehow they're going to be in power. So things that are not in our control, no point shouting about it. The only thing that is in our control is us. And 90% of the problems can be solved by becoming the person we want to see the world to be. I think Gandhi also has a quote on that, right? Become the person I forget what the quote is. But that's what I have seen, is when I tell people to do something, it's far more effective when I do it myself and show them this is how it's done. And being in a leading position, it makes a much farther impact on lives. Having said that, I'm not saying be spineless. As a woman, let's say you're experiencing gender discrimination. Certainly you should protest. In case there's something illegal is happening, you should let the authorities know. Absolutely, there is room for that. But all I'm saying is, don't expect things to change unless you go inside the system and change it. Take on the responsibility to change, make that. Whatever little bit you can change, right? In one lifetime, it's enough to make a huge difference. Right?
But we are experiencing, that those who are honest, those who can say something, have some spine to say, they're always kept aside.
True that. So
those people, they're afraid of this kind of people, no? Because they don't want these type of people in their system.
That's exactly the point. When you're a hostage negotiator, right? Somebody's going to rob the bank and they have gun to the head of innocent people. With the FBI hostage negotiator, go out and say, you rascal, you're robbing the bank. Do you know it's illegal? No. It's going to be like, hey, my name is Rob. What's your name? Who is there in your family? They're creating a bond. They're building a rapport. They're building a relationship because they want the hostage negotiator to come out and surrender. So if you protest for the sake of protesting, you're not going to be able to change hearts. But if you can be their friend, understand where they're coming from. Maybe the person is corrupt because they grew up in a household that was poverty-stricken. And the corruption comes from a sense of insecurity. If you can be a friend and help that person maneuver out of it, that's a far more advantageous position to be with sweet words than you are wrong and I am right, I'm better than you. So you're then out of the system. But you have to be in the system. That means you have to work with the people and slowly move them to something that is right. And that process is slow. It cannot happen with like, but I just hit you with a hammer and hope things work. It doesn't work like that. It has to be soft and gentle and slowly, and surely you'll see the difference you want to see.
Correct. Thank you so much.
It takes patience. It's not easy. It takes patience.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope that all of us are enriched today, even myself. So thank you very much, Mr.
Hello, sir.
Roy.
Can you ask a question?
Go ahead.
Only this will be the last question, no? Means if you don't mind, then we can have
sure.
more. Or okay, you can ask.
Yes, sir. Actually, I want to say that you have explained if anyone want to be to start a startup, then at first I need to develop my skills. I think actually my doubt is you want to say at first I need my develop my skill, and then I need to take the way of earn some money or something others you want to say. What are you want to mean?
I am saying building, testing, learning, building, testing, learning, building, testing, learning. You build something, you test it. Is it working? Is it not? Let's say you want to learn how to build a website. You go on YouTube, you find how to build a WordPress site or a Wix site. You build something. You're like, oh, I want to build a website that looks like that YouTube video. Let me see if I can replicate it. As you do it, you learn a few things on the hand. Then you try again. It doesn't look exactly like that. What can I do differently? You Google it. You try to find a little code here, a little HTML there, right? And finally, you're like, aha, I have the website that I wanted to build, right? That aha moment is when you learned something by doing it. You learned from YouTube, you did it, you tried again, didn't work out, you tried again, building, testing, learning. Through that process, you learn, you grow, and then you come to a point where you can build something people are willing to pay for. Or you can sell somebody else's product that people are willing to pay for. Or people are willing to follow or consume, right? Whatever it might be, God has given you many gifts. So whatever the gift you want to monetize, that's how your journey begins, slowly, step by step. Does it make sense? Or, sorry, your name was Atanu, I think, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Boja gelo?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, sir, one last question, sir, please.
Bolo.
Okay. Sir, my question was when the young people just like me as an age of 19, when we get something like in 12th, in 10th to 11th, in transitions, when we choose what to do, means like science and commerce. And when we get into 12th to engineering or doctorate, like doctorate or engineering. When we like to first year, then what to do? Graphic design, UX, web development, या फिर cryptocurrency. When you go to the job, then software engineering या फिर core engineering. मतलब क्या करे? मतलब how to define the interest. When we get into something, we have to know the things properly. What is the parameter to define the subject properly?
So it first define your goal. If you know where you're going, your destination, then you can define whether you take a flight or a train or a bullock cart to that destination, right? So first set the goal. What is it that you want in your life? When you're 25, when you're 35, when you're 45, what kind of lifestyle do you want? What kind of car do you want to drive? What kind of person you want to marry? What kind of a place you want to stay? What kind of a work you want to do, right? Figure out that part first. Okay, if I want to have a BMW such and such model, that car costs 80 lakhs. Okay, for that, I have to have a salary that is at least this much. For that, I have to know these skills. For that, I have to learn this in college. So back calculate from the goal and figure out what you need to do now to get to that point at the age of 25 or 26 or 35, whatever that is, right? So that's how you make your decision. Your choices are based on your goal. If you don't have a goal, just like make my trip. You go and make my trip with the choice. I want to go to a beach side or I want to go to a mountains. And then you see, should I go to Darjeeling or should I go to Nainital or should I go to Digha or should I go to Goa, right? And then you make your choice. But first you have a goal in mind. I want to experience this. Similarly, with life also the same thing. You set a goal and based on that goal, you back calculate what would it take for you to get to that goal. And then
So
you have
that's
mentors and professors who guide you through it.
Yes, so that's right. But in a young age, when we exploring something that we have a interest in, we have an interest also coding and also core engineering. And how to define the both interests means what to do means
Don't
like
try
a
to
young
define.
age.
Don't try to define at your age. At your age,
Okay.
you cannot define things because you don't know what all is out there. So
Yes, so that's my question.
So find, explore what all is there, and whatever low-hanging fruit you can find that is a good opportunity for you, go grab it. And go grab the next thing and the next thing. Let opportunities open up. One thing you should do is be open to opportunities, right? When somebody is giving an internship, be open to opportunities, open to hearing, be open-minded. That I'm an engineer, I cannot do this. No, let me try it out. Let me see. Maybe I have skills in there. You don't know what gifts you have right now. By the time you're 25, you'll figure out, oh, I'm very good at cooking. I don't know. I'm very good at guitar. Or I'm very good at horse riding. I'm very good at coding, whatever it is. Right now, you don't know. Unless you try multiple things, you will never. So when I'll tell you, at IIMs, I teach entrepreneurship and marketing. When I was at your age, I didn't know what marketing even meant. My mentor gave me some aspects of marketing services. I didn't know I was doing marketing. After 8 businesses, I realized I'm very good at product development, but I'm even better at marketing and branding. And now I know what it's called. It's called marketing and branding. And because of that, the IIMs invite me to speak on marketing and branding. I didn't even know I had it in me. You understand? But because I experienced so many things, and of all those experiences, when I look back at my life, I see, oh, I'm very good at this. Let me try to learn more about this. Oh, this actually comes naturally to me because I'm gifted in that direction. So similarly, for you, don't find anything definitive yet. Explore, be open-minded, right? And figure out who you are, the journey of self-discovery. And that's one of the things that you'll also learn at this IYC club, is they take you through a course called Journey of Self-Discovery, where you find who you are, right? Emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, and you invent yourself. You're different from your parents and grandparents, and you have potential that they might have not had. And that means with today's world, with all the opportunities, who knows what you can achieve? So be open-minded. Don't get stuck to things. Just explore and learn and find your path through life. And of course, have mentors to guide you through it, who are successful and who know what it's like to be you, and how, kind of being your GPS in one sense. That I want to go to the destination. How do I do it? How can I get that internship at Microsoft? Oh, I'm working at Microsoft. I can tell you, here is what you need. These are the skills. This is the resume. This is the recommendations, blah, blah, blah. And you need to talk to this person. Here's the email address. And boom, you're in Microsoft interning, right? So like that, you need to know what you want. When you know what you want, there are people to help you. You're at one of the best institutions in the country. Understand that NIT is one of the best. So you have the best professors, you have the best alumni, the best elder brothers, right? So use that to your advantage. Does it help?
Yes, sir. It's good.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night. And if there's anything else, ask me on Instagram.
Sure.
Take care.
Can I just make a request to all the participants? Can you put on your video so that we can take a few screenshots? I request all the participants to please switch on your video so that we can take few screenshots. So I would request Indranil, if you can take some screenshots.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. I'm taking it. Sure. Just yeah, one.
So nice to see your beautiful faces.
Is it done, Indranil?
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Stay connected.
Thank you so much.
All the best.
Yes, I thank our
Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah, and all the participants, and Indranil as a part of the organizing team, and everybody who's here to listen. And please join the course, it will help you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And please don't forget to fill up the feedback form, otherwise you will not get your certificates. So if you want the certificate, please fill up the form. Immediately you will get it in your email ID. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.